Okay, welcome to this section 20 of Rahula's Bodhisattva Ideal in Buddhism, A-level Anthology analysis task. Let's read it. We come across at the end of some palm leaf manuscripts of Buddhist texts in Sri Lanka, the names of even a few copyists who've recorded their wish to become Buddhas, and they too are to be considered bodhisattvas. At the end of a religious ceremony or an act of piety, the bhikkhu who gives benedictions usually admonishes the congregation to make a resolution to attain nirvana by realizing one of the three bodhis, Stravaka Bodhi, Prakya Bodhi, or Samyak Sam Bodhi, as they wish according to their capacity. So who is we? And what are the palm leaves manuscripts being referred to here? So we is a reference to the tradition of Theravada scholarship. Very textual it is. And as a byproduct, this is another claim to authority. The palm leaf manuscripts are manuscripts made out of dried palm leaves. Remember the idea of the Tipitaka is the baskets, the three baskets of leaves that originally the Pali Canon was written on. Palm leaves were used as writing materials in Southeast Asia, and Southeast Asia dating back to the 5th century BCE, and possibly earlier. What Buddhist texts in Sri Lanka? What names of a few copyists who've recorded their wish to become Buddhas, and what's the significance for Rahula? The Buddhist texts in Sri Lanka, we could refer to lots of things here. The work of Buddha Ghosh and other compilers, such as Dhammapala. Sri Lanka developed a strong tradition of written textual transmission of the Pali Canon. Remember, texts don't last forever. They have to be transmitted. The compilation of the Atthakatha, the commentaries, along with the Nikyas and other Pitakas, were committed to writing for the first time in the Alevel rock temple during the 1st century BCE. Buddhist literature in Sinhalese also thrived. By 410, Sri Lankan monks traveled widely throughout India and Asia, introducing their works. The copyists who've recorded their names or their wishes to become Buddhas clearly is building on the previous section argument that just because someone uses a word, they may not mean what we think they mean. Buddha only means enlightened one, or even less. Bodhisattva means king of Sri Lanka, or the Buddha, or now just someone who has a wish to be a Buddha. What we're going to do is devalue the term bodhisattva further and further so that it's of no use to Mahayana. Very clever, but quite harsh, really. What does Rahula mean that they are to be considered as bodhisattvas? And what's Rahula's point? So Rahula's extending the definition of bodhisattva just to people who copy books. That's enough to make you a bodhisattva. That seems to be setting the bar very low. Mahayana certainly would think so. How about volunteering to stay in samsara if you want to be a bodhisattva? What is a religious ceremony? Or what's the reference here? Or an act of piety? Or the bhikkhu who gives benedictions, who admonishes the congregation to make a resolution? What's this mean? What's the significance? Rahula's arguing that bodhisattva could be applied to any number of people, not just texts, people who copyists of texts, not just kings of Sri Lanka or the historical Buddha. Well, it could be anybody who leads corporate Buddhist puja or meditation. It could be anybody who leads liturgical practice of the kind of book-focused religion that Theravada is. It could be anyone who encourages other Buddhists to make a resolution to attain nirvana. But so what? What's Rahula doing here? He's undermining Mahayana, but this is not what Mahayana would say. they should accept, that all should accept Mahayana teachings and truth claims, not Theravada. So what does Rahula mean here by attain nirvana by realizing one of the three bodhis, Sravaka bodhi, Prakya bodhi, or Samyaka bodhi? So attaining Nibbana is not what Mahayana would advocate. And critically, this is comparing apples and oranges. None of these equate with the bodhisattva ideal, so Basham would say they are really not the same thing. However much Rahula wants to muddy the water of the meaning of the word bodhisattva to in turn undermine Mahayanaism. So lastly, what are the three bodhis and what's their capacity, as they wish according to their capacity? Well, Rahula wants us to know that the three bodhis are not three salvations, as he's previously argued, but three ways of attaining the same one Theravada salvation. But notice the phrase, it's their, as they wish, it's their wish. It's an individual path, the Arhat. That's the only path. There is no, implicitly here, there's no merit transfer. This is being rejected. Only you can make merit. Do puna for yourself, a rejection of Mahayana doctrine outright. So this was section 20.